welcome to the Point. It is Tuesday, May 24th, 2022. Thank you to those of you joining us on the GBN Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page, the GBN Production YouTube channel, the website www.gbn.gd, GBN TV channels 7, 11, and 20. And good morning once again to the loyal listeners of Classic 105.5, 105.9. My virtual guest this morning is the caretaker for St. George's South, representing the National Democratic Congress, Andy Williams. We'll get to know who he is a little bit more and hear more about his plans for the constituency. Good morning, Mr. Williams, and thank you very much, sir, for joining us on the program this morning.
Good morning, and thank you. It's my pleasure.
Appreciate it. We're going to get right into it in the interest of time, because I know there are people who would want to, get the information that you're about to divulge. So let's first start with the basics. Who is Andy Williams, and how did Andy Williams get involved in frontline politics?
Well, Andy Williams is a son of the soil, a son of Grandad Soil Scheme, as a matter of fact. I live here all my life, right? And I'm someone who, listen, Blossom, once I remember saying that I cannot live anywhere else except in Grandad, right? Because I'm so attached to the South, right? And I went to the Grenada Boys Secondary School, GBSS, after I went to T.A. Marshall Community College. And that's where I got my A-levels and so. And then I worked for a while in Rex as the cost controller. And after I furthered my studies, so when I attended the St. George's University, right, and that's where I did accounting and business administration, right. I'm someone who always loved business. I grew up in a small shop selling rum on one side, and so alcohol on one side, and groceries on the other side, right. And I've always mingled with the older folks in the community, chatting with them, talking with them, just learning stuff from them and so on. That's my kind of thing, So from an early age, I've had a lot of experience with older folks and just gaining knowledge. How did I get involved in the politics? Let me just say that politics is something that I always said to myself, Andy, that's not for me, right? I love helping people. I love representing people. I love, hearing people cry and see what I can do to assist. That is me. And I started Hotspot in 2010. And my aim when I started Hotspot was, let's do a business that are different. A business not just concerned about making profits, but about helping people out. And I use certain economic terms and so that I learned in SGU, and I applied it to the business, right? And over the years, I've tried to assist families in getting foodstuff at affordable prices so that everyone can benefit. I was going good, no problem. I had a fire in 2017, and I had to continue again on the carriage. Right, and again, the journey, it was a tough journey, but it was a journey that I felt very fulfilled at the end, because here I am helping people along the way. And I noticed the direction which the country was going, and I would always have something to say. I would always have an opinion, but I was always scared to come forward, because I'm saying to myself, Andy, if you come forward, politics is a dirty game. And you have to make up your mind for victimization. So I always stay in the back and not come forward. I would be on Facebook, sharing my ideas, posting stuff, and saying ways that the country can improve and go better. Let me just say that I also listened to Maurice Bishop a lot during the time of the revolution. And I love to see the progress the country was making in those times. How people were involved in the thought and everything. And I love that. I love the fact that we are more self-centered in terms of teaching what to grow, growing what to eat, and trying to be self-sufficient. Comparing it to this time now, I thought that we could have, do much better in terms of our progress. And that inspired me into politics. And one day, one side approached me. That's, the green side approached me. But I said no, because I didn't think I was ready for it as it. And also, I didn't find my ideas and so was too aligned with it or with them. And some months back, and Deacon Mitchell approached me. We spoke for about 2 hours. And speaking with Deacon alone, he inspired me. Everything that I was thinking, his idea was along the same line. And that helped me to make up my mind. You know what, Andy? I think it's time to get involved. After the victimization, I said to myself, a man who stands for nothing falls for everything. And in life, you have to take a stand sometimes. When you know it is for the good of the country and it is for the good for people. And that is me, and that is what I am about. And that's why I'm going to involved in politics. Blossom to help people and to help my country.
So, like you just pointed out, politics is a dirty game, as you put it. And in trying to help your country and helping your people, helping St. George South, how dirty has it gotten since you've put your name forward?
Okay, let me share something with you, right? I said to myself I was not going to talk about it, but I'll share it to you.
Okay.
And that's me. I love speaking my mind, so I'll share it to you. One of the starting Blossom is when we make everything political, right? If you followed me, you will see that since I've got involved in business, I always reach out to the people. That is just who I am, right? I always say to myself, Andy, if you die today or tomorrow, you cannot go with anything. You take nothing to the grave. So live a life that you can share with others and help someone else. And when starting Hotspot, it was really and truly, yes, to make a profit, but also to assist people. And I've always been there for my people, And when you hear Andy get involved in politics and Hotspot is getting attacked, I'm like, Lord, So it has become dirty to an extent, but I'm someone who always look at the positive. So I will not respond because at the end of the day, I know that's what I'm doing, and I know that the Lord is in this. And He will fight my battle for me, right? So, I've heard all sorts of things about myself, even Deacon. And I was saying to myself, like, you know what? I wonder if there's a next Andy and a next Deacon on side, because it's just so straight and so funny, But it's something that you have to live with. Anything you do, you will have opposition. You will have people saying what they have to say or what they want to say. But the main thing is that deep down inside, people know, what the truth is, I believe. And sometimes you have to ignore all the negative and focus on the positive if you really want to go forward. And that's me, and that's who I am. Yeah.
Let's talk about St. George South now. Like you say, you're a St. George South man, born and bred. So being on the inside and seeing what's taking place in St. George South, what are your plans for the development of the constituency?
Right. Growing up in Grandin, Southern Scheme, one of the things that we pride ourselves on is sport. Being younger, on a Sunday afternoon, we'd always run to the line fast there because we want to watch a game of football or cricket. And you will see the Valley coming down, you will see, Montu have the team, you will see Gold Coast having a team, you will see Spring, you will see frequently Cali having a team. And it was just a lovely event to see all communities coming together and enjoying food. And Blossom, let me tell you, back in those days, Valley having their cheerleaders, Gold Coast having their cheerleaders. And it's just fun, and the youth had something to really look forward to. Now, for the last 2 years, the last 6 years, I would pass through the lines every day. And I'm seeing this patch is under construction for the last 6 years. And I said to myself, where is the love for sports? And what are we doing to encourage sports in the South? I have seen people like Brian Benjamin, a gentleman by the name of Mackie, making it to the Grenada national team in football, right because of the line pasture riding. That seemed like line pasture, right? And for the last 6 years, we have seen nothing. Blossom this hurts a lot because sports is dear to my heart. I was an athlete in school, right? If you look at the Granans court again, you will see the tennis court. You will see the condition of the tennis court, which I think something better could be done. Before again Blossom, we used to have a lot of sporting competition, not just in the line, but also on the same Granans court. You have basketball competition, you have football competition, netball competition, and also you have people coming and play tennis on that team. Right now, the condition of the court is not the best. And I think that these are things that we have to improve on. For the last 14 years, we have seen these conditions or these our structure just being deteriorated and nothing is being done to improve on it, right? So that's food. But also, let me just say, not just the downside, but the upside. I want to applaud Woburn because Woburn always has something in the pasture, maybe cricket or football. They always have something in the pasture. And I want to applaud Woburn also. But I believe that we have to bring back sports to the South. When you look at the youth, our youth unemployment right now is about 40%. Blossom. And the youth need something to look up to, or they need an alternative. And sports is one. Every day I pass in a line that pass around, you see youth on the block, just lining, smoking, nothing to do. And this hurts my heart because these are guys that I grew up with. These are guys that I saw grow up in the community, and I would like better for them. And when we come in the MP of the South, trust me, I will do my best to ensure that the youths are taken care of, right? In addition to the South, my vision for the South, healthcare. Healthcare is something that we see is being neglected more and more in Grenada. And I love a man called Barack Obama. So when he started his political journey, I would follow him throughout. But in the US, when you are pushing yourself up for office, you have to come with a plan, or you have to have a plan. And one of the main plans you have to have is a good healthcare plan. And I'm saying in Grenada, we have to do this thing. We cannot continue to neglect healthcare. Healthcare is one of the most important aspects for some and listeners and viewers in our country. Now, let's bring it back to the South. We have our healthcare center in the line, and it is someone downstairs. And I'm saying the South is one of the most densely populated areas in Grenada. You have the hotels and so in the South. You have job opportunities in the South. You have people from all over coming down to the South to rent and to work on a daily basis. Just passing Granada on a Friday and you see the traffic. And if we have an accident or so, and we had an accident last year on the Moy Bishop Highway, which I believe if that person was transported faster to the hospital, the life could have been saved. But if someone gets sick, Blossom, you have to go. No, let's bring it practical. If someone gets sick on a Friday, and you have traffic, the time it takes you from, let's say, from the highway, Moy Bishop Highway, to town, maybe more than half an hour. And if time is of the essence, if time is a factor that can save someone's life, bet yourself, their life will be compromised. So I am saying, we need something better than just someone downstairs at a healthcare center in the South. We need a proper polyclinic, right? And there are some locations that we can look at. We have the Manhattan area we can look at. We even have the Sandino area, which is right at the entrance of Lazatin, we can look at, right? And if we have a polyclinic in the south, which open 24/7, which have a doctor on call 24/7, which have nurses there 24/7, that alone can help. Number one, ease the strain on the hospital, and number two, it can help with a better healthcare for our constituency. Also, in the Woburn area, you will hear the residents of Woburn speak about their health center, and it is not a good sign. You will hear them saying, Andy, if rain comes, we have nowhere to shelter. And that hurts me also, because I would love to see my people and the people of my constituency have a better service. And for me, it is about creating the whole service for our people. So healthcare is on the top of the list for me. Now, we just spoke about the youth. But again, I want to speak about field training. Field training to me is something that is of utmost importance. Not everyone may be academically inclined. Some people are good with their hands. Some people are good, with other things. And we need to create an alternative for them. Sometimes we call students who are not academically inclined dunce, local term, right? But again, they may be good in something else. I remember going to Palmer School, J.W. Fletcher, which is now a secondary school, but back in the days it was a primary school. And we had a woodwork center there last summer where we could have, we learned academic, but also learn a trade. And we need to have a skill center in the south, something similar, but on a larger scale. Right now, the only center you have TAMCC for the students, and you have NULO. But NULO was brought in by the churches, right? That's in St. John. And as we speak right now, there's a guy that we call Kate Bowles in our community. That's his nickname. His name is Devon. And he went to NULO. His family was not the richest. They were not so well off. But he made a sacrifice. And his mother made a sacrifice to send him into NULO. And today, he is doing electrical. Right? He would not have been, or he may not have been the best on the academic side. But today, if you want to wire a house, you can call him and he will wire the house for you. Right? And this is what we need. We need to create more alternatives for our youth in our community by offering skill training, right? By certifying them, right? And also, by giving them the encouragement to move on and letting them know that the sky is the limit. And they are not done, but they are different. And there are different ways that they can excel, right? But before I move on, let me just bring back a point that on the healthcare that I forgot. Let me just bring it back. Because I'm passionate about healthcare. Also, my father was ill some years ago, and we called the ambulance. And the time it took for him to come, we were kind of saddened by it. And I mean, I'm not putting any blame on the personnel because I know resources again need skills, so I'm not putting the blame on them. But after that happened, I said to myself, we need to have an ambulance in the south. We need to have an ambulance in the south of the island. Not only an ambulance, but we need to have a fire truck, a fire station in the south of the island. Unfortunately, I had a fire about 5 years ago. And by the time the truck came, the building was already destroyed. And we can go back and see Blossom and viewers how many times this has happened, right? Now, we need to have a fire truck. Why? Because the south is very densely populated. We have other houses in the south of the island, more so. And we know because of the opportunities that we have in the south. So you have people migrating to the south. And in order for us to offer better service, I'm saying we need to have that facility right there. So it can make it easier and better for our residents, and our community can be much safer right, as a result.
But how practical is it to
Don't do wrong.
no how practical is it to improve on the services of the healthcare in the South, whether it's through a health center or the construction of a mini hospital in the South, as well as the establishment of a fire station? I remember government pointed out that's something they were considering, and that's been a while since they pointed that out. How practical is it to get one space/land to set up these things that you're hoping to do?
Right. How practical? No, let me just say this, right?
Wait, hold on. Before you answer, how practical and how soon do you think it can be done?
Okay. First of all, before we go to how practical, let me just deal with the aspect of human resources, first of all. Because I'm someone, my passion is for people. Before we start talking about any of this stuff, I'm saying, and my party is saying, we need to first value our healthcare workers. Let me say it again. We need to start valuing our healthcare workers. We want nurses to be there 24/7. But first of all, we have to have the nurses. Right now, you're seeing nurses migrating for greater opportunities because we are not creating the whole condition for them to stay. And most of them would love to stay and work in their country. But at the end of the day, they are looking for better opportunities. And plus, we need, and listeners, we need to, first of all, treat our nurses better. And we need to change their employment status from contract to permanent. We need to start valuing our nurses and showing them that we love them and showing them that we care for them. Because nurses, at the end of the day, Blossom, have a family, they have a life, and they want to better themselves. Right? And when you're on contract, we know the issues with contract. We know. Also, you could be a nurse working for years. But when we went to the Miri rally and so, and we met with the union in the celebration, I had a nurse coming up to me and say, Andy, you know what? I have been in the profession for more than 5 years, and I'm on contract. And they expressed their whole concern with, I would love to better myself. I would love to go to the bank and get a loan and improve myself, but I can't because I'm on contract. Now, if we are not taking care of them, Blossom, at the end of the day, you want these same nurses to come and offer top-class service. So we have to, first of all, take care of our human resource aspect of things. We have to value our nurses and show them that we love them. And we care for them, and we want them to improve their life also. Good.
Go ahead. You were just frozen for a little bit, but go ahead.
Okay, good. Now, first of all, we have to locate the land we want to use. I believe we have a lot of government land aside that we can use, and the whole fact is about setting it up in a place where it can be accessible. And we have to do it in a smart way, because one of the downfall I've seen to having a hospital where it is right now, it is close to the sea. And you have a lot of the equipment, right, that we use on a daily basis. You see them get, being affected by the sea, and you see like they are being like, a lot of like rust and so on them, and which may affect the performance of the equipment. So we have to be smart in choosing our location and take all these things into consideration. Now, I propose the Sandino area, I propose the Manhattan area because of the access. Like if someone is coming from Calais and the highway is blocked, they can pass through Dusty Highway and come through. If someone is coming from Woburn, right, they can pass through that road through the valley. If someone is even coming from let's say St. George's area and by Wall Street as well is blocked, they can pass through by Food Fair, go up through the valley, through Mount Hartman, and even make their way there. So in choosing the location, we have to ensure that number one, it is accessible from different points. One more piece again that we can look at again, Blossom, is even on the stretch heading up to West Hall, on the right hand side, right? That's after you pass SOG, you pass the home and you're going up. That again is a location that can be used to erect buildings, which are polyclinics there. We all know it is something that it will take time. It is not something that will be done in a year or two. But once we put our mind to it, Blossom, I think that I would say, give it a span of 4 years, and we can do it. Like right now, we have nurses training at the SGU, so we are developing our human aspect, our human resource aspect of it. And what we need to do now is to treat them better, provide better conditions for them, and even the doctors also, Blossom, provide better conditions for them. I'm talking about salary-wise, make it attractive, so that doctors will want to come to work in our polyclinic and offer the best service that we can offer. And when we do that, Blossom, let me tell you the benefits of that. You have people in the diaspora who wants to come back to Grenada and live, but they are hesitant. They want to retire in Grenada. But the first thing that goes through their mind is, if I come back to Grenada and I get sick, what will happen to me? So you find out that they are discouraged from coming back. And that again can be revenue that we are losing, because at the end of the day, when those folks come back, they will contribute to our economy, and that is what we want. So this is something that we may be losing out on. In addition, let me just say, in addition to the polyclinic, in ways that we can improve our healthcare. In the 1970s, we had SGU coming to Grenada, and kudos to Dr. Eric Matugeri for facilitating the St. George University here in Grenada and in the south of the island. And I went to SGU, so I was privy to see how the system works. And after a certain amount of years, the students will move on to do the internship. They will go to either England or the US. And Blossom, I've heard before speaking to Kingsley St. Louis, one of the founders of the NDC. And he told me, Andy, he has planned for a teaching hospital since 1995. And I'm saying we need to bring that back. We need to have a teaching hospital here in Grenada. So these students, instead of going to England and the US to do the internship, they can do it right here. And it will be a win-win for them and us, because now they can offer, SGU can offer better healthcare again to our citizens of this country. And the students also can be learning along in the process. So if that has been done, healthcare can take an upward movement, it can be improved, and we all will benefit at the end of the day. So I think it is practical, but what we are seeing is that emphasis is not being placed on healthcare. When my dad was there some years ago, Blossom, as simple as a strip to read his blood sugar, we couldn't find. We had to run home for one and come back. So that alone tells you that we need to place more emphasis in healthcare. We need to see that being important, and Grenadians need to hold us accountable. Politicians hold us accountable to provide a better healthcare for everyone on this island.
All right, Andy, let's take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and discuss it some more. We are speaking with the NDC's caretaker for St. George South, Andy Williams. To the point, we'll be right back.
Ultratech gasoline and diesel. Available only at Rubis stations.
A whole new level of convenience and comfort awaits you when you shop at Rise and Shine Supermarket and Hardware Supplies, Griffin Lane, Grenville. Convenient, because we are open Sunday to Sunday. We're even at your service on public holidays. Comfort, because we are easily accessible to the physically challenged. Free Wi-Fi is available while you shop, and bags come at no charge. Everyday low prices and excellent customer care. Adequate parking available. We supply everything you can possibly think of. Family and home supplies, fresh meat, vegetables, and personal care products. All brands of cooking gas at affordable prices. You can send in your order, have it pulled, or pick up express.
The most anticipated family fun-filled event on the GBN calendar is back. The Maggie King of the Grill. Join us on June 4th at Mount Rouge. Be part of the culinary masterpiece as the best grillers on island compete for the coveted title of the Maggie King of the Grill. Think you have what it takes? Be part of the action. June 4th. Book your spot. If not, step away from the grill if you can't handle the heat. Maggie King of the Grill is sponsored by Maggie, Matuk's Barbecue Sauce, Rubis, Dasani Water, Calico Shopping Center, Duty Free Caribbean, and Siesta Hotel.
Welcome back to The Point. This morning we're speaking with the NDC's caretaker for St. George South, Andy Williams, getting to know him a little bit and his plans for the South. Speaking of plans for the South, Andy, what do you think are your chances at the June 23rd general elections? You're going up for now. I don't know of any other caretakers for now, but I know you're going up against Senator Nolan Cox in the constituency. What do you think are your chances at the polls next month?
Well, the people are speaking, and I can tell when we have our community meetings, they appreciate that very much, because my style of politics is by getting people involved. And I believe that we are here to serve, not here to rule, but we are here to serve. I would say people that you are the employers. The people are the employers. You, the listeners, are the employers. Blossom, you are the employer. We are seeking to be the employee. So the power lies in your hands, right? And for me, it's about getting the people involved, getting you involved, wanting to know what you want, what you think we can improve, how we can do better from the last administration. And the people are speaking, and I can tell that there's a movement in the South. There's a movement in the South, and the people love it, and they are gravitating toward our campaign. And I just want to show the listeners and the people that I will be here with you. I am here with you. I will not go anywhere. And this is just my passion to serve you 150%. Right? I eat, I sleep, I drink my community. I want to know lots of ways that I can serve them better as we go along. So my chances, I think, very great. I'm not overconfident about but you can see. And I try every day to go to meet people. But the constituency is a big one. So when you see a past Valley this week, it's quite, a long time before you can get back to Valley again. But I try to meet the people in my constituency every single day, door to door. We do motorcade, where we do our motorcade, and so I will go out and meet and greet the people. And just spreading the love. So I think our chances are great. And I know that we will be successful at the end. On June 23rd, June 24th, I'm very confident that I will be the next MP for the South. With the help of you, right, and my people.
What would you do differently in the South? The outgoing Representative Nicholas Steele, he's hanging up his hat. Let's say the night of June 23rd, it emerges that you are the new MP for the constituency. What would you do differently to develop the constituency, to help its people, and to take it forward?
Now, for the last 14 years, the South has been neglected. Number one, I will love, and I've already started, to create an atmosphere that promotes inclusiveness. The people, I think, for the last 14 years, did not have a representative. And this is the cry on the ground. And I've listened to the cry of the people. And I'm saying, the first thing that I have to do, Blossom, is to ensure that I represent my people, that I am here for my people. And that is why I've started with the community meeting. And sometimes all our people need is a voice. We may think it's maybe some sort of tangible thing. But sometimes all the people need is a voice. Just last Sunday, I was by Pandy area, and we cleaned the beach. And you can hear people saying, Andy, we had a community center there, we had a bathroom there, a toilet there, and it's not there again. And they are upset about it, but no one is listening to them. When we go to Woban, the fishermen, right, down by the, where they dock their boats and so, by the bay, they will tell Andy, we have the whole, the reef and so, that is being destroyed right now because of the yachties that are coming there and are dumping their, their waste and so in that area. But no one is listening to them, right? So, and I can go on and on. We have places like in Calais and Frequente in Northern Spain, that if you ask them today, who is their representative, they don't know. And we have to bring back, politics is about representing the people. Right? The government will be for the people and of the people. And we have to, to keep focus and to keep our mind on that. And for me, it's about bringing back that inclusiveness, bringing back proper representation to the South. That is what I would love to do. And just hearing what our people want, and at the end of the day, it is about them, not about me, but it is about them. And one thing, Blossom, again. Sometimes as politicians, we lose our humbleness. And when I say that, I mean, when election time is around, we come to our people for a vote. As soon as we get in power, we forget our people. This has to stop. In addition, since I was a little boy, the notion is that as a politician, you neglect people for 3 years, 4 years. And the year of election, that's when you try to do the move. And Blossom, I've made an oath to myself, Andy, when we come in the next MP officer, on June 24th, that is the time to put on your boots and to go on the ground and start your work, start working from them. Not wait until you have an election time coming around, you give, all sorts of things. No. start working from the one, because if you work, Blossom, and listeners, if as a politician, you do your job from the one, when it comes to the election year, you have nothing to worry about, because you could rest assured that you have done your job and you have done your best to improve your constituency and your country on a whole. So that is what I will do.
All right, let's now go to our viewers and listeners who may have questions for Mr. Williams. The landline number 435-2041. The WhatsApp number is also 435-2041. Please, no calls on the WhatsApp. You can continue to post your questions and comments on Facebook and YouTube. Let me go to our first caller. Good morning, caller.
Yes, good morning, Citizen Wells. Greetings. Can you guys hear me? I want to verify that first. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Very well. Listen to me. Greetings, my dear brother, and welcome to the Political Free. Sung as a young fella still, although I'm not that old. But listen to me. I've heard you, I've sat here, and I've heard you enunciate a range of things that you propose to do as a policy maker. But I dare warn you, sir, that you are aspiring to be a legislator, and therefore, your responsibility is not only to your community and your constituency, but to Grenada as a whole. I live outside of St. George, Southwest, South. Was it St. George? South, pardon. But you haven't spoken a word of what you hope to do for people like me, the people who live outside of your constituency. Therefore, I ask, and bearing in mind that one of the principal thing that you seek to be as an aspirant to a legislative position, making of the laws, the correction of law, the advancement of the laws of the country for the enhancement of the life of the general population. Can you give me, sir, 2 legislative initiatives that you have thought of so that you can present to the people or for the advancement of the national population? Thank you very much and have a nice day, will you?
Thank you very much. Andy, go ahead.
Right. Now, in speaking this morning, I addressed the concern of my constituents, of course. In terms of national, that's where the leader and we have sat down already, Blossom, and we have put our plan in place. And when I speak about the South, you can be rest assured that everything that I've spoken about is a plan to transform Grenada, not just in the South, but in the other areas also, in the other constituencies. For example, skill training. Our plan is to put a skill training center in every community, every parish, because at the end of the day, we have children, and not just children, but we have people who are willing to learn a skill all over Grenada. Number one. Number two, in terms of healthcare, we intend to improve our healthcare centers all over. Because people do not only get sick in St. George's, they get sick all over. And imagine, Blossom, if you are living in St. Patrick's and you get sick and you have to go to the general hospital, look at the time it will take, more than 1 hour to reach to the hospital to be attended. So this morning I spoke about my constituency, but it's a plan also to transform this whole country. And in that plan, we are seeking to do similar things throughout the island of Grenada.
Facebook question. The comments are rolling a lot on Facebook, so what I did, I took some pictures of the question so that when it goes out of the screen, I still have it. See, using the Kabisa this morning. So somebody on Facebook asks, on the issue of SGU, how does the recent amendments affect the relationship with the state and the institution? Are there plans to make more amendments to the Act? Any programs or plans with the institution must be guided by legislation?
And we agree that. And let me just say that we need to have conversation with SG Blossom. And speaking to Deacon, that's our leader, he plans to have conversation with SG because they need to have a national plan that will not just okay. Now, but let me just say differently. We need to have a national plan that will involve everyone. A plan that SU and both the country or the government will be working forward to improve healthcare throughout. And we have to sit down, start with a conversation, sit down, put a plan in place, and also see how we are going to go forward. So we are working in collaboration, we are working in tangent. So whatever we do, Blossom, will be to further that plan and to improve healthcare on a whole. Because at the end of the day, SU provides us with about 25% of our GDP. SU is important, we need SU. And imagine, Blossom, if we were to work in collaboration. Think about how far we can reach. And we need to have that conversation. It starts with that conversation because we need to move Grenada forward.
All right, let me go to WhatsApp before I go back by the landline. Somebody on WhatsApp, let me see. The very first one would be this one. Let no one despise your youth. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. I declare the blessings of God upon your life today and always. That came in shortly after I asked about the dirty politics. Go on.
And let me just say something, Blossom, to you while you're on that, right? I want to ask Grenadians. So, always put country first instead of party first. I want to implore on our supporters and supporters on both sides to be respectful. At the end of the day, both sides are coming forward to say, what they're going to do if they're elected to run this country. And I think both of us, we have good intentions. And it hurts me to see our people get, divided because of politics. And before we just hold on to our side and say, yes, I'm an NDC or an NNP, I'm saying, think about your country first. Think about the policy that will be put in place to help your children and their children, and that will move Grenada forward, right? Not just hold on to our party, but think about your country and which side may have the best idea to propel your country in the next to the next level. So I want us to start being mature as a people and stop creating enemies and separating ourselves because of colors. But I always implore people to think country first instead of party. Dirty politics, rest assured, Blossom, I will not be engaged. I will not be engaged in bringing down anyone. It doesn't matter if he's my competitor or not, I will not be engaged in bringing down anyone. I will stick to the issue. And if I see something is not being done correctly, I will speak about it. But I will not be engaged in trying to retool anyone, trying to, paint a bad picture on anyone. And our leader, we are learning from our leader. And if you look at him, he always sticks to the issue. We are not attacking anyone personally, nothing like that. And I think this needs to stop because we need to have more young people getting involved in politics. And we need to encourage the children that in secondary school right now to get involved in politics because they may be Blossom, the next Morris Bishop. They may be the next Mayor Motley. They may be the next Deacon Mitchell. And if we paint politics in a bad picture, that will just discourage them, and the country may be the one that will be losing out. So I want to implore on everyone, please, put party behind and put country first. Thank you.
Good morning, caller.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, Andy. Yeah. Well, growing up in the South, I could say you've seen for the last 14 years. I've seen for the last 20 years. All the development in the South is for the upper class. The poorer class of people, nothing was done for them. And I believe the focus needs to be more for that. The next thing needs to happen. The business sector in the South need to give back to the community. Because when you check most of the head office of most of these companies is in the South. But when you walk in the Limes and in Montu and then please and you watch what is happening, these businesses also sponsor and give more assistance to the community when you come into sports. The community centers, the only facility they have in the South really is the youth center. All the area they had for community project, community center, it had been given to businessmen and friends of the government. Woburn have a place, something happening in Woburn, as you could see. But when you check, go wrong, check the amount of person, check the amount of youth. What we actually doing for the youths down there, and persons who try, what assistance you actually giving to them. You understand? And then squatting is our next problem. Well, you're afraid to touch on that issue because this is one of the things everybody hates NDC from since George Brisbane time. They was trying to put policies in place. But when you check the level of the squatting, and it's politicians that's sending these people to squat down in the south, and then it's creating our next problem. And then the same set of persons saying it is illegal, but they're the one that's doing it. All these things need to talk about and revise and look at. You understand? The hospital is needed, the fire station is needed, and we need to move away from ASU and start building another branch, because ASU start off as a tadpole, right now it's a big frog. And if we don't take control of it, we're going to have a problem in the future. So we need to look at other industry and factories, other investment for we to hold on to. Because if it's 25 or how much percent of your GDP, and we continue expanding on it, therefore it will end up like a rash. It will take over us.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Caller, go ahead, Mr. Williams.
Right. Now, let me just speak on companies giving back, Blossom. And I said, Blossom, you live in Grandland, so you wouldn't, right?
Yes.
You will look at the sugar mill area, and so you look at the limes area, and you look, throughout the south, you see a lot of young people, on substance abuse and so, alcohol and these other substances and so. And I'm saying to myself, we have no rehabilitation center in the south, right? The only thing I have is maybe Monge, but that is not the proper place to put them, right? And we need a rehabilitation center in the south, and not just in the south, but throughout Guinea. We need more because we have a lot of people on substance abuse right now, and they need to be cleaned up. I know personally of people who went to the Carlton home and they got cleaned up and they came back up. And you may ask me, how will you fund that? But I'm saying the companies who sell all these amount of alcohol and so should be given back to our community. Should be given back and should be given back part of the profits to help fund these areas, because at the end of the day, it is the alcohol and so that is contributing towards these people being in that state. So we need to give back, and we need to let companies start giving back in the south. But again, it has to be in consultation, right? Number one. Number two, the point about squatting. People came up to me. I have personal stories of people coming up to me and you know what? The government or people from the government said that we can come here and look for plots and so. And they will get materials and XYZ and so. And when I heard that, I take it for truth, right? And when I heard that, I'm saying to myself, how can we be promoting that? And what we need to do, Blossom, like places like Guankai in Cali's frequencies, we have a problem with squatting in Guankai. But we seem to we are turning a blind eye to it. And I think it is time that we as a government go up to Guankai. If you can give titles for certain part of for whoever can get it, give titles. Who have to move, well, let us move, right? And let us rectify the problem in Guankai and put stability to it. Because in Guankai, Blossom, you have people living up there without any current, any water. Because they do not have title for the land. And it is humane to have people living without water. Right? Water is one of the basic things that we need, Blossom, and it crossed my heart. I'm saying, let's go to Guankai. They need proper roads. Last election, the MP that was there did something temporary, and today the road is worse than it was before. I'm saying let's give Guankai a proper road. Let's give titles where we can give titles. Because at the end of the day, the government will benefit when we give titles, because these people will be paying taxes also. right? When they get a title, then they can get current and all these things up in Guankai, so they can live like normal human beings instead of just neglecting them right now. And I have made up my mind, Blossom, to fight for the people of Guankai, right? Because it hurts my heart to see people living like that and having to struggle like that. We need to do better. Then last one, the community centers. We need to use our centers, and we need to put back centers where we have gotten rid of some of them. Like, for example, Pandy in Belmont is crying for a community center. And Blossom, when we have this center, we can let the older folks meet with the younger folks, and and knowledge can be passed on. I see this guy in the line, the Indian guy in the line, I just forgot his name. He makes baskets and so out of bamboo, right? Clothes baskets, basket for your kitchen, and so on. It's just remarkable. And this man was sitting in the house and do all this crap and so on. And I'm saying to myself, why can't he pass on this knowledge to a younger person? So we need the community center so that people can interact. We can have computer classes there. We can help people who cannot read and so Blossom learn to read. Bring back the community spirit in these areas. We can do it. And this is what we need. So at the end of the day, everything is not money. But if we try to uplift our people, the country will benefit on a whole. And when I become the MP, the next MP of the South, these are some of the things that I will bring back. And I will be there with the people there and show that it happened.
It's time for us to wrap the program, but there are two related questions in relation to sexual violence against women. Two people on Facebook. One asks, what is your position on the issue of domestic violence and sexual assault? 1 in 3 women in Grenada experience violence in their lifetime. And then there was another one that asked as well about what role do you see women and girls in Grenada playing? Hold on, I'm looking for it completely right. What role do you see women and girls in Grenada, and what's your view on sexual harassment?
Right. Now, I grew up in a home, Blossom, where my father and my mother lived together. And I must say that I was privileged to, for that, because a lot of the times you have women and so being single parents. Men too, but most of women. And growing up in my home, I always tell people, I've never seen my father hit my mother or show any form of violence to my mother. And that instilled that value in me also. So, not just hit, but in terms of abusing. And Blossom, for me, I love children, right? Because, when you're young, it's like you have the world is there for you at your feet, and you can be anything, right? And I just love to promote peace, unity, and so on. So I am for women. I am against violence against women. I will speak about it any day, anytime, any hour, Blossom. And also women. Women bring something to the table that men just cannot bring. No disrespect to the men. But a woman knows, Blossom, how to turn her hand, knows how to make things happen. Sometimes when we as men go out of ideas, the women will come in because growing up is like they know how to just make things happen. And I believe, Blossom, in our country, we need more of that, right? And in doing that, we need to start liberating our women more, right? By paying them more, Blossom. I've been to a school in town where a woman was working for less than $1,000, and she was working there for like over 15 years. And face it, men, let me talk to the men aside, and society on a whole. When a man and a woman separates, most time the child is left with the woman to take care of. And the man is out free doing whatever he wants to do. So it's even more harder for women, Blossom, to even survive in the world right now, even in Grenada right now. And that is why we need to start having a conversation to start increasing our minimum wage, so that women can be more independent and they can take care of themselves and their children. Blossom, let me just share a story with you. I know time is out, but I must share a story with you. Last Monday, which was the last day for registration. I stayed up till after Tuesday morning with the last person who went to get registered. While there, a lady was sharing a story with me that things was kind of hard for her because she was not working for much. And her landlord knew that. She had the phone on speaker when she was talking to her landlord, and her son, 12 years old, was listening. And the landlord was saying, come, let me come and check you. And he wanted to offer her money for sex. And she had to put him in his place wanting. Because she said to me, Andy, I said to him, not because I'm struggling, means that I will do anything for money. And it just dawned on me, Andy, we need to elevate our women more. We need to treat them better. We need to increase the minimum wage, Blossom. Every day, if you go to the supermarket, every day, prices are rising every single day. But our salary is just remaining the same. No. Just give me 2 more seconds, right? No, Blossom. The bigger people may say, Andy, if we increase the minimum wage, it may increase our expense. And I say to the business people, if you increase the minimum wage, it can increase economic activity because now you have more money circulating within the economy and you can make more profits. And as a result, you may be in a better position to pay the same increase in salary. So we have to look at it from both aspects, Blossom. And I would love to see women, especially women, because they are sometimes the ones with the most responsibility. I would love to see more emphasis being placed on them so that we can have a better gradient. Thank you.
I was going to end, but a question. Nigel, thanks for reposting the question. It scrolled out of Facebook before I asked it, but he reposted it. Somebody on Facebook is asking, great ideas, I love them, but I have 2 issues. How long do we have to wait? And funding. I'm tired of politicians coming and saying, I'll do this and do that, and then nothing is done after that. So how long do we have to wait for these developments and funding for the planned projects you have for the South?
No, let me just say this, Blossom. Grenada is not suffering because we do not have money, right? We are suffering because we are not putting the money or allocating the money in the right places. No. I don't want to. So how much time do I have?
30 seconds.
No, last year alone, we got from the CBI, Citizen Bank Investment Program, $282 million US. We in the transformation fund right now, Blossom, it is a mystery. We don't know how much money is in the transformation fund. And if you look at 2022, you can know that there's an open movement in the CBI, Blossom. And I'm saying to every Grenadian, what we need to do is to put pressure on your administration to use those funds properly, allocate them properly to ensure these plans we have here become a reality. And I'm saying, Blossom, give us one term and we can see a lot of the things that we are proposing being put into place. And I know with a leader, as our leader, Deacon Mitchell, he's one of the smartest men I've ever seen. And let me just end by saying this. Some people may say that we are young, but I say look back at the revolution. Look back at the time with Morris Bishop. Today we have NIS, we have Mark and Bone, we have an international airport, which Morris got. And he only did it in 4.5 years. And he was young. He was 5 years when he assumed office. So I'm saying, give us a chance. I know we can do it. And I say, Blossom, and I want to make a request. I want GBN to make a request, and everyone in Grenada to make a request. I would love to see a debate with Dr. Keith Mitchell and our political leader, Deacon Mitchell. I would love to see a debate. And then let's put them to the test, because at that time, we will be coming to you for a job. And I would love to see that. So Blossom, I hope GBN will champion that cause and have a debate with the 2 leaders of the 2 parties. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Andy. We've been, not just the GBN, but other media entities as well, have been trying to organize, and we're hoping that everyone can agree and we can have that debate that everybody is looking for. But thank you very much, Andy, for being our guest this morning. Appreciate it to the fullest. I'll let you get back to private business. I know that's where you are now. So thank you very much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your day and good luck next month, God willing.
Okay, thank you. And you're welcome.
Have a good one. The NDC's caretaker for St. George South, Andy Williams. We thank him very much for being our guest this morning, and thank you, viewers and listeners, for tuning in. All you Facebookers, I see the comments rolling. We're over 100 comments by now. Thank you very much for participating. And again, I'm going to say the efforts are continuing to see how we can organize a national debate between the political leaders. So let's hope. We have about 30 days left before the June 23rd election, so let's hope that something can be done in that time. Thank you very much, viewers and listeners. Lost GT, I apologize. I robbed about 7 minutes out of Mid-Morning Buzz. He's up next. I'll be back tomorrow morning, God willing, when I link up with Gary Mrs. Smooth for Good Morning Grenada. Until then, enjoy the rest of your terrific Tuesday, everybody. Bye-bye.